there's some issues with this top. Once I finished it and I looked at it again, I realized that there was no saving this. There was no saving this at all. So I figured that the fabric that I was going to get would be perfect, right? Wrong. Oh, Jesus. Hey guys, it's Shania here and welcome to my channel. In today's video, as you guys can tell by the title, I will be doing a knitting podcast. It's going to be my very first knitting podcast and I'm super excited. I'm going to follow the standard the standard podcast format and do the finished objects, whips, acquisitions, and yeah, I was planning on doing my fall winter knitting plans in this video as well, but I think that it's going to be a long one, so I think I'm going to make that into a separate video. So let me know if you guys want to see that, because I have a lot of plans. Sorry if I keep looking off to this side of the screen. I tried to record this last week and it was just a mess because I had so many things that I kept remembering. And I would talk for something for a really long time and get on tangents, and it was just a whole mess. So I decided to re-record, put my notes, have a nice structure system, which is great for me and my brain, and hopefully I don't lose my train of thought too much. Without further ado, I just want to hop right in because, like I said, I did record this before and it was relatively long, and I don't know how long it's going to be even though I have notes. So let's hop right in. First things first, I'm not wearing any knitting today. Finished objects. My very first finished object is actually not finished technically. It is the Zipper Sweater Man by Petite, and I'm going to put up a picture right here. I like when people insert pictures when I'm watching their podcast because some patterns I have no idea what they're talking about, and it helps me. So yeah. A Zipper Sweater Man is, or just a zipper sweater in general, is very popular Petite knit pattern. However, I'm going to put a picture up anyway just in case. So the very first pattern is, yes, Zipper Sweater Man by Petite knit. In this, I did the size large, and I use Drops Nepal. You guys focus on my Nepal? Drops Nepal, and this is the color 0506, also known as dark gray mix. That's what it's called. This is 65% wool, 35% alpaca. I absolutely love alpaca. This is my first time doing Drops Nepal. Every alpaca yarn that I feel, or yarn that has alpaca in it, it always feels so nice. And yeah, so you guys will probably see a lot of alpaca channel. I tend to gravitate towards yarns that I see have alpaca in it. Really like drops and trying out drops, so you also see a lot of drops. But yeah, this is my first time trying the Drops Nepal. 10 out of 10 recommend, and definitely going to be using it again. But yeah, so this is my Zipper Sweater Man, and the reason why it's not finished, as you guys can tell, is that there's no zipper on there yet. Plus I have sorry, my voice keeps going in and out. What was I about to say? It's all stitch markers in it. This was just like progress keeper. Just haven't bothered to take it off yet. And it's crazy because I've worn this. I've just been wearing it around the house. It is so comfy. I love the drape. It's like the perfect thickness for a pullover. And yeah, it looks really wide, but it's gonna be a zipper. And actually, sorry for the crinkle, I do have the Petite knit zipper that she sells. It is so nice. I love the little metal hardware of the zipper. So I just got like the black one or the dark gray, whatever this is. I don't know. This is the color. And it also came with a little Petite knit label, which I probably won't be using, but yeah. And I'm gonna stand up so I can show you guys how it fits on me. This is my short stop. That's my belly button right here. So yeah, that's my belly button, and this is, yeah, so it goes like right at the like widest part of my hips, which is nice. And yeah, that is my zipper sweater man. There is a couple modifications that I did for this. And they are as follows. So it calls for an Italian bind off for both the sleeve and the body, which I did not do. I just did a regular bind off. I don't know what it's called, where you just knit one, then you get another one, then pull the first one over the second one, and you knit one and then pull the second one over the first one, or the first one over the second one, whatever. I don't know, just a regular bind off. I did a regular bind off, and also on the collar, which I actually love so much. Like, it's so squishy. Like, look at how like stretchy and squishy this is. Like, oh my goodness. But yeah, it wanted me to do like another couple inches. I think I had like 2 or 3 inches left. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it was between 1 and 3 inches left on to knit for the collar. But when I was like holding it up to myself, I was like, this looks good enough for me. Like, it looks fine. When I was sick of knitting, I was ready to like start on something new. I was getting really excited seeing like the collar take shape, the neck take shape. So sorry, I'm trying to have my knits not fall. Also, excuse the car seat in the background. I have to take that to storage. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. So yeah, you guys are going to see a little toddler seat because I have a 4-year-old. So yeah, so I just shortened it just slightly than what the pattern calls for. I'm hoping that when I do the band and throw the zipper in, that doesn't affect it. But yeah, I just haven't sewn in the zipper yet, just because I am needing to get like needle and thread. But that is my zipper sweater man. And for the techniques that I learned in this pattern, I learned Judy's magic cast on, which I actually really like. I would love to do more collars like that. The only thing is that I learned it, but I wouldn't be able to redo it without doing another tutorial. So yeah, it was nice. Second finished object that I have for today is my Montpellier top, and that is by Novemberknits. I actually used the exact same yarn. So my zipper sweater man and Montpellier are in the same yarn. I had like 8 balls of yarn left over, 8 of these from the zipper sweater man. I don't know how I calculated that so badly, question mark. But it was a good thing because I ended up using like 4 or 5 balls with this, and I think I have like 3 left or 4 left. I can't 100% remember. And so I'll use that for maybe a hat. It'd be nice this winter. I don't know yet. But yeah, it is made in the exact same yarn, and like, look at that tree. Like, it's just so nice. So nice. So I have a couple things to say about this. So, like I said, the designer was Novemberknits. Did a size large, and I used the drops Nepal that was left over from the zipper sweater man. As far as modifications, I used 5mm needles for this. I'm not 100% sure what the recommended needle size is, and actually, let me pull it up on my phone real quick so I can see. Okay, so I believe it recommends a 5.5 needle, and I did it with a 5mm, and then I sized down, I think, to a 4.5 for the ribbing and collar, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I got this on right as soon as I got done with the zipper sweater man. It's still like this huge like knitting mood. Like I finished the body and the sleeves of the zipper sweater man in like 3 days. Had this kick of like knitting. I took like 2 weeks off work for health reasons, and so for those 2 weeks I just buried myself in knitting for like 18 hours a day, and I just watched TV and healed and knit, and it was a great time. So as soon as I got done casting off the zipper sweater man, I immediately looked for a pattern to cast on because I was still really enjoying knitting. I was still really enjoying this yarn and the gauge. So I found the Montpellier top. So I decided to check it out, and it was close enough that I could get away with these in Nepal. Oh, Jesus. Excuse me. So yeah, I knitted. I knew that my gauge was slightly smaller than what the pattern calls for, which was fine for me because it was more of like an oversized vest or top more than anything, and I really wanted to have a more tight fitting top, and I also wanted it to be cropped. So I just did that. So what I did was I knit in just a size large. I didn't change anything other than the needle size, and it gave me a smaller knit, and then I also just cropped it a little bit. That was what I did. And let me see, because I didn't weave in my ends of this because I couldn't be bothered, and I've already worn this out at least once. And then I put a little like piece of yarn right here. You can't really see. Oh, there it goes. So I could tell what my front is from the back. But I do want to get some labels soon for myself so I can knit it. I'm deciding like what type of labels I want, because I also want to be able to put the fiber content on it, or like the wash instructions. So yeah, I don't know. So this is it. This is the Montpellier top, and again, this is my belly button. So as you can see, it goes like slightly. This is the top I'm wearing today. It's the black one, and then this is the Montpellier top on top. So as you can tell, I have a pretty like standard like length I like for my cropped, because then I just wear high-waisted, and then like it's cute. Like I like a little sliver of skin, and like that's it. But yeah, so this is the top. This is the side. Honestly, it's really dark, so it's hard to see the detail, but there's this like really pretty like ribbing that goes all the way down and down the side of this. Don't mind my armpits. They're armpits. But yeah, the only thing I don't like is that there's a little bit of buckle right here. Like it doesn't lay flat. You guys can see. And then also the armpit is pretty low. Like this is my top, and this is where it stops. So it's not bra friendly. It shows lots of bra or lots of side boob. So yeah, not bra friendly, but still nice nonetheless. So yeah, I can show you guys the edging. So you guys can kind of see right here. This is like ribbing, if you guys can see. So the ribbing, and it goes all the way down, and on the side you can see it a lot better when it opens up to do like a full rib on the side. It's a really pretty detail, and this is really nice. I would definitely make this again. I would make it again in the Drops Nepal even, and I would do this in I would do this in a different color, a lighter color, so that you can see the details. So I'm still not like great at picking up stitches. I don't feel like I did a terrible job picking up stitches on this, but honestly, it's so dark, you probably can't tell. Let me show you. Like, do you see that? Those holes are not supposed to be there, I don't think. But yeah, it's so dark that you can't really tell my imperfections. Tell them in another project I'm going to show you guys a little bit later. So you guys can see my kind of wonky edges. That's because I did an Italian bite off for the first time. Last pattern, Zipper Sweater Man, required an Italian bind off. I think that Petite uses an Italian bind off for a lot of her projects. And I was like, oh, I'm not learning the Italian bind off. Just because everyone complains about it. They say that it takes so much long. It takes so much time. And it's a long process. And no one really looks forward to it. So it's kind of like put me off of Italian bind off. Same thing with ribbing, but I'll talk about that again a little bit later. Yeah, I was like, no, we're not doing that. So then this top, I finished it and it called for an Italian bind off. And I was like, I'll just bind off regular and I will figure it out another time. And like when I said that the second time in a row, I was sitting here like, every time I see Italian bind off, I say that or I do that. And so I'm gonna do it later, I'm gonna learn it later, I'm gonna learn it in the future. And I'm like, when is that future gonna come? So what I did was I made myself learn Italian bind off. And honestly, my bottom Italian bind off looks a little bit better and more uniform than my collar Italian bind off. Also, my collar does stretch a little bit when I like put it on, so I don't know. Maybe I put a piece of elastic in the very top to make it more uniform. But yeah, I learned the Italian bind off, and honestly, it did take a long time, but it didn't feel like a long time. The time flew by. I was like watching the show and just like methodically doing the Italian bind off, and it was really relaxing. When it was done, I was kind of like sad that I was done. I'm glad I was done, but also a little bit sad because it was like really meditative. And I paused my show and I realized I had watched like 4 30-minute episodes. So yeah, but that's my Montpellier top. And yeah, I really love it and I can't wait to make more. My camera battery's about to die, so let me change that. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know why my hair is like sticking up higher on this side. Is it just me? I don't know. Okay, so that was the Montpellier type top, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have so much like fluff from the alpaca on my shirt. Oh, and as far as technique, oh, I already said that techniques that I learned was the Italian bind off on this. For the first like couple whips. For the first finished objects, I learned a new technique in every single one. And the very next thing that I have to show you guys is the twist loop top by Other Loops. And as you guys can see, there are strings, there are stitch markers, there are a lot of things going on with this top. So this is, like I said, the twist loop top by Other Loops. I made it in a size large, and I used the Bernat Sortee baby cotton in the color Pale Periwinkle. It looks like this. Yeah, and it's really nice color. It is 60% cotton and 40% acrylic, and I really love this yarn, and I would definitely buy it again. I actually bought this yarn when I first learned how to knit. I bought this in another color, 2 of each, in order to learn how to knit, and I practiced a little bit. Didn't use up much at all of it, and then I jumped right into a project. So these 2 skeins kind of like went to the wayside. And at first, for a long time, I was thinking about doing camisole number 5 with it, which I still want to make, but I don't think I necessarily want to make it out of this yarn now that I understand how it behaves and I've worked with it. but I would like to use it for another project. And I already have one in mind for the scraps of this because I do have a lot of this left. This is the second that I have, so I used all of the first one, plus this is what's left of the second one. So pretty much, I don't know, I would say like 75% of the ball left over. So I already have a plan for that yarn, which I'll talk to you guys about in just a second. Yeah, so this is the top. As you guys can see, there's some issues with this top. So I started this top when I was waiting for the yarn for my zipper sweater man, and I was like cast on fever, so I was like, okay, I can cast on something. I don't want to buy any more yarn, so I was like, okay, what can I do in stash? I was like looking through the stash, and I was like, okay, cut that down. I was like, okay, and I was gonna do the camisole number 5, but it just seemed like too much, so I ended up picking the other loops top. Yarn ended up being a lot different than what I thought for my gauge swatch, and so I'm happy that I didn't do the camisole number 5 in it, because I'm not gonna get the wearability that I truly want from out of this top. So about this top, a couple things. Number one is that at first I thought it was going to be too small, so I was knitting it up and I was like doing a large, and I was like, oh, I think it's going to be too small. So my plan was to just knit it because I was really enjoying how I was knitting up with the color, and I was going to give it to my little sister. That was the original plan. But the further that I knit on it, that's when I realized that it was coming out a lot bigger than anticipated. I'm not waking up fully yet this morning. So yeah, I was like, okay, this is coming out way bigger than I expected, and it's huge. And I haven't looked at the pattern yet to see if it's supposed to have this much. Probably, I don't think it is. I think that my gauge number 1 is bigger, just slightly bigger than what is called for in the pattern, or maybe I did hit gauge. I'm not 100% sure. Also, when I started knitting this up, I didn't realize how heavy the fabric was gonna get. Don't get me wrong, it's weird how it feels, because if I was to hold 2 balls of yarn in my hand like this, it would not feel heavy. But if I hold this in my hand, not that it's extremely heavy, but it is this has some weight to it, and because of such, it does cause the fabric to pull down a little bit more. Gravity is doing this thing, and it may make it a little bit longer. So I was knitting this and I was like, man, this is big. Actually, I'll talk about that in modifications. It's really big. So when I got to this point, I realized how big it was actually getting. I was actually in the middle of doing the second repeat, and I was realizing how big it was, and it wasn't a look that I was wanting to do. And so I ended up just deciding to cut my losses and see if I could salvage it some type of way. I did the in pattern bind off was instructed, which I actually really love. I think that my little bind off edge is so freaking pretty. Looks so good. Messed up a little bit on the cables. That was my first time doing cables, so I did mess it up a little bit. I did drop one, which I still have to fix back here. I'm just gonna take a piece of, I literally have 2 stitches held together with a stitch marker. I'm literally gonna just sew or tie a piece of string and knot it so that it stays. And yeah, also I didn't have a smaller needle size. I used my second smallest needle size for the body, and I couldn't find my smallest needle size to the collar or the I-cord, so I ended up just using the same needle size, which for the I-cord is not bad. However, for the collar, it is definitely a lot looser and bigger than what I would like. So part of me wants to redo the collar, and then another part of me is this is not really turned out any way that I planned anyway, and I do plan on re-knitting it. So I was like, I'm just gonna kind of live with it and like be able to look back at my mistakes and laugh. So this hasn't been blocked. None of the ends have been weaved in. There's still a couple things I need to fix. But I figured that I could wear this as an oversized like vest type thing. There is a whole nother repeat that was supposed to be in this, so it's supposed to be a lot longer, but it just would have been like this just really like big loose fitting shirt on me. And I don't mind loose fitting, but I also knew that like that was just like look at how wide this opens up. Like it is so stretchy. So yeah, but I figured that it is still cute and it is still wearable. This is what it looks like. I pretty much stopped it at my general stopping point for cropped. It is slightly longer in the back for whatever reason. I don't know, but yeah. And I have lots of like space underneath the arms. So my idea for this top is to weave it on the ends, number one. But my plan for this top is just to wear it with a turtleneck, like get a white turtleneck, and yeah, just layer it over top like a oversized vest. So that's how I'm gonna wear it. Hopefully the style is right. I don't own one, so I need to buy a white turtleneck, and hopefully the pattern looks good. Because of the color, this pale periwinkle, it's more of like a springy color than a fall color. So what I'm gonna do is what am I gonna do? What I'm gonna do is probably save this for the spring. This is more of like a spring to summer transitional piece. I'm sorry, winter to spring transitional piece than it is for a fall to winter transitional piece. So I'm gonna bring this back out probably in the springtime, probably maybe like February-ish, March, when it's like still kind of cool but not like deathly cold. And yeah, because it is like cotton and acrylic, so it's not going to give me much heat anyway. And also just the color is super light and springy. So yeah, that is my twist loops top, and I really like to reknit this again with a yarn that has a little bit more structure and not as much like I want it to have drape, but I don't want it to be like heavy. Like I don't want it to drape because it's heavy. I want it to drape because the fabric's nice. So I will remake that again just in some time. I needed some time away from ribbing, honestly. Oh, and then I learned the Italian by knot. I learned an I-cord edging. Like I've learned how to do an I-cord edge, which I'd never done before, and it looks really good. And I'm really proud about this because the way that the I-cord edge just kind of like okay, so you see how so this is the knit like of the top, and then the I-cord edge just like seamlessly kind of flows into it. So I'm really proud about how I picked up the stitches on this because I do have trouble picking up stitches. So I was like super happy that these came out very like neat. My proudest accomplishment on this top is that my knitting was on the ground. But yeah, so I would make this again with structure, and yeah, and maybe a more fall-y color would also be nice. So the next finished object that I have is a test knit. Is the Cozy Cotton Hoodie by Knits by Autumn. This is what she looks like. I weaved in most of the ends. There's a couple ends on the inside that I haven't weaved in, as you guys can see. And there's one on the sleeve that I weaved it in, and then I cut it too short, and then it kind of unweaved itself, and I'm just leaving it. So, yeah. But yeah, this is my test knit by Knits by Autumn. It is a oversized hoodie. It is called the Cozy Cotton Hoodie. However, I did not make it in cotton yarn. Just because I don't really like working in cotton yarn. So she said as long as we had gauge that we could use whatever yarn we wanted. And yeah, I kind of went that route because I don't like cotton that much, number one. Not to work with it. Wearing it is fine, just working with it is like harsh on my hands. I didn't want to make like a whole garment in it. And then also, I'm always cold, so if I was to make something so big and comfy, I wanted it to be something that kept me warm. So I ended up going with this yarn from Yarn Bee. It was a couple reasons. One, like I wanted to go ahead and start to test knit and ordering from drops, so it took too long because I refused to pay for the free shipping. I do sometimes if I like really need it, but for this particular one, I didn't feel like paying the expedited shipping. So I went to my local yarn store, which is Hobby Lobby, and I got this Yarn Bee Yarn ID in the color Oats. And it's really cute. And it is, I think, 80% acrylic and 20% polyamide. Yeah, but I just really like the color and I felt like it would be super cute. Yeah, and I made it. Originally I thought I was making the size large, but I realized when I was like doing the first sleeve after I'd already done the body that I was actually doing the extra large / 2XL size, and I'm actually really happy that I did because it is super duper cute. So this is the length of the sleeves, and by the way, this is not blocked. I kind of like the way it looks unblocked. So yeah, I've literally worn this so many times already. I finished it about like 2 weeks ago, and yeah, this is a cropped little hoodie, and the hood is on the back. Yeah, it is on the back, and I don't really wear the hood because of my hair. However, if I had this on and I needed to like run outside if it was raining or something, definitely would. And I am so proud of this hood. Like, look at my bite off. Oh my goodness, like it looks so good. I was a little bit worried that I don't know why I'm trying to look at it like this, but I was so like big on making sure that my stitches like matched up, you know, like they weren't crooked. Like I wanted them to like match up, and they do, and it was really, really nice. It is a 3-needle bind off, which is also a technique that I learned doing this pattern. I was gonna do, it said a 3-needle bind off or a Kitchener stitch, and I was like, oh, I'll just do Kitchener. But I was like, no, you need to learn a 3-needle bind off. It just sounds complicated, and it was literally so easy, like so easy. And so I'm super happy that I learned it, and yeah, it was really nice and I like it. And the only thing that I have a little bit of woes with is picking up for the hood. And this is, as you can see, a little line. It actually looks a lot better than how it looked previously, because there was like this weird like stitch going in like the wrong direction all the way around. So what I did was took some scrap yarn. I had like this tiny little scrap left over, so I took a little bit of it and I put in a needle, and then I like kind of like sewed it up in a way that kind of closed the hole up a little bit. It's not perfect, but it looks a lot better. It's now like wearable in my eyes. Like, it looks good enough to like wear. And yeah, it's really nice enough to give us the free pattern for the shorts. So I'm super excited to have matching shorts in this set, and this will literally be like my house lounge set. And I do want to make more. I would like to make it in a drops yarn, just because I really do love drops. So maybe because of the gauge, I could actually get away with doing drops Nepal version, which low-key in this dark gray, and I already have like 4 balls, so all I need to do is buy like, I wouldn't have to buy as many for the matching shorts and shirt and top. I don't know. So yeah, but I wouldn't mind using this yarn again too. I was really kind of iffy on it being mostly acrylic. However, it is super soft, it is super warm, and I'm liking the washability of it. So yeah, that is my cozy cotton hoodie, and I low-key don't want to take it off because it really is cozy, and I sleep in it like every other night at this point. So it's super comfy and just massive. Like I said, I accidentally did the extra large 2XL, and I'm really happy that I did because it's just so like big and like it feels really good. It feels really good. So yeah, that's my cozy cotton hoodie. The only thing that I modified on this was did extra increases on the sleeve. I believe I did 6 or I think, I'm not 100% sure, but basically the sleeve stopped like right here onto pattern, and so I just continued the decrease pattern until it got to like this point, and then once it got to about here, if I'm not mistaken, let me see where my last decrease is. Where are you? Yeah, so when I got to about here, my decreases, and then all of this is just and knit like onwards without any more decreases to the length that I wanted, and it worked out. Yeah, that was the only modification I did, and she knows about it. She asked us to let her know if we had any issues with length when we got to the end of sleeve. And this, I didn't hear anything for the other sleeves unless I did it in like a private thing, but I know that the other girl who also made this size also said that she had to do additional decreases to make it the length and size that she wants. And yeah, I think she's updated it in the pattern by now. And if you guys can kind of see the decrease, so it goes like constant decrease, and then you see here I stopped my decrease and just knit straight. And yeah, it gave me an arm that I really like. And then this is the close-up of what I was talking about for picking up the stitches. I kind of like knit them, like you see that? Kind of knit them together a little bit tighter, and tried to match up the like knits of this with the knits of that. So yeah, it leaves a little line of like demarcation. Is that what it's called? I don't know. So that's the only thing about this hoodie that I would change, but I think that that's just up to me and learning how to pick up stitches better. So yeah, that is the cozy cotton hoodie test knit. And I'm about to run out of recording time, so give me a moment. Okay, I had to reset my camera so that I did not run out of recording time. The next thing that I have, the next finished object, I have so many finished objects this episode, but it is legit my last finished object. So don't expect for my podcast to be this finished object heavy. This is all from June and July, and August. Wow, June, July, and August. So 3 months worth of knitting. Yeah. So yeah, the next one is my Penelope Petite. This is a free pattern that I originally saw it on Carson last year, and I had it in my cart because it was just so pretty to not make. Like I was like, I have to make that. But the only thing is that like I have natural hair, and my hair is very big, and I like to wear my hair super big with like lots of volume. And this type of scarf or like kerchief or whatever is not like standardly used or standardly styled with our natural hair. And I'm not like a kerchief, like I'm not like a bandana girl, like I don't know, I'm not a scarf girly. I was like, I really would love to use this in my hair like everyone else wears it in their hair. And the only thing stopping me was like my natural hair, like how I can style it. and I have literally worn this non-stop, and I do want to do like a style video because I have a couple different hairstyles that I use with this. But yeah, let me actually show it to you guys. It needs to be washed. But yeah, this is the lace pattern. This is my first time doing like lace chart, which was really nice. It's not perfect, but I mean it's pretty damn good, honestly. And I used the leftover to make the kerchief. I literally casted this on the night that I casted off the cozy cotton hoodie. So yeah, same yarn and oatmeal. I thought that maybe I could wear them together, but honestly kind of had conflict of interest with the hood. So yeah, this is my Penelope kerchief and I love it. I did a 2 pattern and it's literally the perfect size. And yeah, I'm gonna try it on for you guys now. This is not like generally how I wear, but what I usually do is kind of put it in like a loose pony just to kind of centralize it, and then I wear it like that, which is super cute. I'm gonna try to turn around, and I can't tell if you guys can see me or not, so I'm gonna try to use this mirror to see if you guys can see. Oh, you guys can't see. Okay, cool. There you go. You see? Boom. This mirror low-key gave me clutch. And I broke the handle off this like months ago and I still use it because it still works. So yeah, that was real convenient to have. But yeah. So that is a Penelope kerchief. I will definitely be making one again in like multiple colors. I'm really in love with this and I would love to try it in different fiber contents. I like to make a silk one. I like to make a cotton one. I actually plan on using this to make a secondary one, another one. The only thing is that it says it recommends 4mm needles for this, which is what the recommended needle size is for the pattern. However, it's slightly skinnier, so I don't know. Probably will go down in the needle size for this, which means I'm gonna actually have to do the extra repeats because it's gonna be smaller than expected. So I'm gonna have to do more repeats in order to make it the length that I want, but it's gonna be worth it. And I'm really fingers crossed that I have enough yarn to complete it. I think I will, but no, we'll see. So yeah, and the only modification that I would make is the I-cord. I recommend you to do the I-cord with the same needle that you knit the kerchief in, and I would rather, like if you see how big it is, like these are really thick, I would have rather to go down a needle size or even 2 needle sizes. Honestly, this is stretched out a little bit more, so it's not as bad. But I would probably go like 2 needle sizes on this because that is a thick strap to tie around the back of my neck. So I would like more dainty straps. But yeah, other than that, this is a banging pattern, and I'm so happy that I have it. So yeah, that is my last finished object. So in total we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finished objects in the last 2 to 3 months, which I feel so proud to have a stack of knits just sitting beside me. Like I was getting all of it together and I was like, knits. So yeah, I'm super excited to have a stack of knits right there. The next thing that I will be showing you guys is, or I guess both of my works in progress now. So the first one is the hanky halter top, which I'll put a picture right here, by Anxious Girl Knits, and I'm currently testing it for her, and I'm doing size 4. Today is the 27th. It's due on the 31st, so it's doing a couple days, and I'm almost done with it. I've taken the week off of this project. I literally haven't worked on it in exactly a week since last Sunday because I just needed a break. And yeah, this is what it looks like. Real bright. So I'm currently knitting this in drops pairs, and it is the color 13 or just orange, and it is 100% cotton. The yarn, like as a garment, it feels good and it feels good on the skin, but like knitting with it is kind of like annoying and it rubs my finger raw sometimes, which kind of sucks. And also this color is just so bright, and at first it was really fun to work with, and it still is. Now that I've taken a break from it, I'm like excited to work on it again. So I will be working on this tonight, but later on today, I should say, not tonight. But yeah, I just needed a break because I did too many mistakes. So first things first is that, as you guys can tell by the picture, it's supposed to be like a symmetrical point. Mine, as you can see, comes to an asymmetrical point because I somehow messed up my stitch marker, which I don't know how, and my thing was off. So like when I went to do my decreases are even. It's just like crooked. It's just crooked. It's off by this much. Like, look at how much it's off by. Like, if I was to line it up, then it's straight. So, and at first I was like, when I was first looking at it, I was like, oh, I can just block it off, stretch it a little bit so that it's centered. But after I like left it that night, because it was like late at night, once I finished it and I looked at it again, I realized that there was no saving this. There was no saving this at all. So I was like, okay, I need to frog this. I couldn't bear to see 4 hours ripped out. So I decided to pick up and do my I-board. Well, I did my I-board wrong. So I ended up ripping that out immediately. That was like an hour of work. So I just ripped it out. And I was gonna go ahead and start ripping out this too. And I was like, I just can't be bothered to rip out anything else. And I can't be bothered to try this again right now. So put him on ice for the week, and now it's Sunday, and one is doing a couple days, but two, I also want to do a photo shoot with it because it is really cute, and I did try it on, and it does look really, really cute asymmetrical on me. However, it's not the pattern, so I have to go back and fix it so that it'll be on pattern, since it is a test knit. If it was not, I would have been like, honestly, the asymmetrical is cute, I'll keep it, but because it's a test knit, I have to go back and rip it out. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. I'm going to be finishing this today, which I'm super excited about because I want to finish my last two test knits so I can start on more projects that I like for myself, and also look for more test knits. Now I don't know if I'm going to do any test knits for the next little bit of time, just because I just did 3 back to back. So yeah, that will be getting completed today, and this little asymmetrical hoopla will be fixed. It's gonna be so cute when I'm done. So yeah, there's that. So while I've been taking a break on that, I went ahead and started my last test knit, which is the prismatic knit cardigan by Knit Crochets. She's a crochet artist, and she's like just now breaking into knit and knitwear designing. This is what the cardigan looks like. That's what hers looks like. I'm currently test knitting that right now. First, I'll show you the yarn, and I'll show you the process because it's been a whole situation. So for this yarn, I ordered it off of Warehouse. I bought it at the same time that I bought my pairs. I shipped them together, and I did priority shipping so I could get them here fast because they were both test knit. And this one had a faster deadline than the other one. So I decided to do Drops Melody for my cardigan, which is so like left field from what everyone else was doing. Drops Melody is super like chunky and like wispy and furry. It is a more structured knit. Most people have, you know, got yarn like this that has like no fuzz, so you can like really see the texture of the pattern. But I wanted something that I would really love, and I got the Drops Melody because I've never tried the Drops Melody before. Also, they had really pretty colors. I ordered it at the same time I ordered this orange, so I was just like really in this bright mood. So I ordered this like hot pink, and this is in the color, let me see, I have it all written down. This is in the color hot pink, and then I have this lavender, and this is in the color, where are you? Sweet Orchid. And then I have this like light pink, and this is in the color powder pink. And then I also had this like yellow, which is in the color vanilla. And what I've done is create this like really pretty like color scheme. And as you guys can tell by the picture right here, that it's actually a fade cardigan. However, my colors don't really fade. I mean, technically I guess I could have faded them, but my idea was to do stripes instead. So that's what I did. I did stripes instead. But I was having issues. Drops is a hit or miss. Sometimes it is perfect and sometimes it's not. So this one recommends to use US 5 needle, and that's what I used, and the fabric came out beautiful. This recommends size 5 needle, and I'm pretty sure that I'm using a 3.25 on this. So this one, I knew that I would probably have to size down my needles, which is perfect because it recommends size 8mm needles, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yes, so I recommended size 8mm needles, and I knew that I needed to use a 6mm needle. So I figured that the fabric that I was going to get would be perfect, right? Wrong. So using the 6, it was still too holy and airy. I was like at a loss of what to do with this yarn, because I wanted to use the colors. I didn't want to like mess up my cardigan or knit a cardigan that I wasn't going to wear, because the fabric that I was getting using this with the recommended needles was just not, it just was not happening. It was way too light and holy and airy, and I thought about holding it double, which could have worked, but again, like I didn't want to buy more yarn for it, and I was like debating. And so at first I was just going to buy a cheap like acrylic yarn to hold double with this Drops Melody. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear that, my roommate's so loud. I was gonna hold Drops Melody with it and just get it over with so that I could do my test knit and be done. And I wasn't in love with that idea because, one, I don't want to make something that I don't want to, that I'm not gonna wear, and I also did not want to just do it to do it, you know. And I also didn't want to spend more money on more yarn. So I was sitting here thinking about what I could do. And I was actually like 2 seconds from holding everything double and just ordering more yarn. But then I remembered that I had Drops Air that I bought like a year ago. I had like 25 balls, 20-some balls just sitting with nothing to do. So I decided to swatch with it. And I'll be honest with you, when I recorded this last podcast, I had the gauge swatch, but I can't find it. I swatched all the colors together to make sure that they went, because while the pinks and the purples look really pretty together, I was hoping that this was going to be like a more like pale yellow. I wasn't 100% sure how I was going to feel about it going with the pinks and the purple, but honestly it's fine. But yeah, so I gauge swatched with with Drops Air. This tag is like all the way bent up. So I use this Drops Air that I bought last year, and it is in the color Pink Sand. So here is my prismatic cardigan, or what I have so far of it. And obviously, like I said, it is textured knit. It actually opens up and whatever the knits and the pearls, but it is super scrunched up right now because I don't know, that's just how this texture is, and I don't know how to feel about it yet. I feel like if I keep doing it, I may start to love it. So I messed up right here. So I started with the pink and I was like, oh crap, I'm supposed to be doing it with a different color. So I did it in the purple. I just was only like one little like texture bit in, so I was like, it's fine, I'll just do the rest in purple. Sorry, the camera cut off because I've been talking too long, so I don't know what all I've been saying. I feel like this podcast is longer than the one without notes. How? First of all, I know exactly how. I talk way too much. But yeah, so I realized that I kind of messed up a little bit, but it's fine. I'm just gonna keep going because I feel like it'll be fine. So yeah, that is my prismatic cardigan. And yeah, as far as, so the only acquisitions that I had were the acquisitions of all the yarn that I bought to make this stuff. And it's so funny how different all these fibers are, but let me see if I can get it all in one picture. So yeah, this is all of my yarn acquisitions, and it's literally just all the yarn that I showed you guys. Trying to throw that back on the desk. Only thing that is not was this air, which was in stash. But yeah, other than that, pretty much good to go. Sorry that this was a long video. Hopefully most of it made sense and most of my explanations made sense. I don't know, we'll see in editing. Hopefully everything looked good. If I didn't for any reason and you have more questions, then definitely leave me a comment down below to let me know so that I can make sure that I put that into next month's podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't really have anything else to say. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys were working on or doing while watching this. And also don't forget to check out my Instagram. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully I didn't talk your head off. Hopefully you guys want to join me for another video. I'm going to be making more videos, so hopefully you guys like it and will join me again another time. Other than that, I have nothing else to say. My roommates are going crazy with the ice maker. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.